Is the last day of Purushottam month. Yes, it is. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Nityal Pavishtam Vishnupa Rashatarashata Shmar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev Ki Jai. Nityal Pavishtam Vishnupa Rashatarashata Shmar Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityal Pavishtam Vishnupa Rashatarashata Shmar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityal Pavishtam Vishnupa Rashatarashata Shmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityal Pavishtam Vishnupa Rashatarashata Shmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityal Pavishta Maha-bhagavat Śrīla Gaurkishora Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityal Pavishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Nityal Pavishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Anugarya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhattaragunath. Shri Jeev Gopal Patadasa Gunath Shara Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. Naam Acharya Śrīla Hari Das Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Kshetra Mandal Korna Mandal Vrja Mandal Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kund Ki Jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Shri Purushottam Dev Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Dev Ki Jai. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ju Ki Jai. Shri Purushottam Kshetra Ki Jai. Shri Purushottam Vrat Ki Jai. Vrat Samapti Vas Ki Jai. Vrat Palan Kari Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Ki Jai. Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Hari Bol. Dandavat Pranams Kishore Krishna Prabhu, Yashoda Didi, Satya Mataji, Nri Haribo, Nri Hari Prabhu, Champak Didi, and wow, everybody's on, a lot of people on Zoom today. And now let me check on Facebook and YouTube. Let's see. And Krishna Chandra Prabhu, Raseshwari Mataji, Rup Manjari Didi, and Nitai, Ganga Mataji, and Karuna Didi. Hari Bol, everybody. So, unfortunately, I'm feeling tired today. No, but I think I can beat it. I can beat the tiredness. If I have to, I'll just stand up and walk, and then I'll fall asleep. So since today is the last day of Purushottam Vrat, maybe we should sing something with Mahaprabhu and Jagannath in it. So we can sing, what is it? Jaya Jaya Jagannatha Sachiranandan. That song has the second verse, I think it is. Yeah. Oh, shoot. Am I still connected to the internet? Yes, okay, good. Something just happened on my computer. I don't know what, that's weird. Okay, so let me just open up the file. Oh, I need to announce in my group. One thing, I'm going to show you something. I have a WhatsApp group for TTs, and I've been very inactive in publishing, like posting in there, but I'm going to post right there now. But see, you can see, like I have a countdown for all the next days coming up. Oh, actually, never mind. I'm not going to send it out now because I need to fix it up. Anyhow. Yeah. So yeah, never mind. But yeah, if you'd like to join that WhatsApp group, let me know and I can send you the link. And then every day you'll get a countdown. See, I have all these countdown to all the next TTs coming up. All right, so let's do this. Put it on dark mode. Okay. So what are we doing? Jai Jai Jagannatha Sachiranandan. Okay. All glories to the dear son of Jagannath Mishra and Shachi Devi. His lotus feet are worshipped by the three worlds. In Nilachal, he holds the conch shell, disc, club, and lotus flower. And in the town of Nadia, he holds the staff of a renunciate and a water pot. Some say that in a previous age, he killed the demon Ravan. Then, as Lord Krishna, he reveals the glorious pastimes of Goloka. Now, accepting the bhav of Sri Radha, he has come as the golden avatar. Lord Gaur preaches the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. With folded hands, Vasudev Ghosh says, "He who is Gaur is also Krishna as well as Jagannath." Jai Shri Gaur Krishna Jagannath ki Jai. Nilachala Shankra Chakra Gada Padmadhar. He holds a conch shell, disc, club, and lotus flower in the form of Jagannath. All right. Oh, and Haribol Yashoda Didi. I missed you. Sorry. Okay. Oh, and Haribol Ganga Mataji, Karuna Didi, and Indira Mataji. Pranams. Okay, let's start. What happened to it? There it is. Jaya Jaya Jagannatha Shachira Nandana Tribhuvana Kore Jara Charana Vandana Nilachal. So I'll sing the whole thing. Jaya Jaya Jagannatha Shachira Nandana Tribhuvana Kore Jara Charana Vandana Nilachale Shankar Chakra Gada Parmadhara Nilachale Shankar Chakra Gada Parmadhara Anadiyana Gare Danta Kamandalukara Anadiyana Gare Danta Kamandalukara Ke ho bole pura bete Ravana Vadila ke ho bole pura bete Ravana Vadila Golokera Vaibhav Lila Prakasha Korila Goloker Vaibhav Lila Prakasha Korila Shiradhar Bhave Ve Goraya Vatara Shiradhara Bhave Ve Gaurayavadara. Hare Krishna Nam Gorila Prachara. Hare Krishna Nam Gorila Prachara. Vasudeva Gosha Bole Hori Jora Hat. Vasudeva Gosha Bole Hori Jora Hat. Jai Gaur Shri Krishna Shri Jagannatha. Jai Gaur Shri Krishna Shri Jagannatha. Jai Gaur Shri Krishna Shri Jagannatha. Jai Gaur Shri Krishna Shri Jagannath. Oh, Jai Gaur Shri Krishna Shri Jagannath. Jai Gaur Shri Krishna Shri Jagannath. Jaya Jaya Jagannath. Shachir Nandana Tribhuvana Kore Jar Charana Vandana. Jaya Jaya Jagannath. Shachir Nandana Tribhuvana Kore Jar Charana Vandana. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jaya Shanandan, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Sachinandan, Jagannatha, Jaya Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari, Jaya Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari, Jaya Gaura Hari, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Alright, Hari Bol. So now we will do the Mangalacharan and begin chapter 8 of the Ādi-khaṇḍa of Caitanya-bhāgavata, where I think today we'll be reading about Nimāi getting his braḥmaṇ thread, and studying under Gaṅgādāsa Paṇḍit, and we'll read the beginning of his challenging his students and other people in debate. So, okay, now let's share the screen again. Oh, Krishna. Haribol Vidya Lala Sadidi. And I haven't forgotten about sharing the Caitanya-bhāgavata files. I just haven't gotten around to it, but because it's going to take a little while. It's not, I need to prepare it. Okay. It's on my to-do list though, I think. Actually, let me look really quick. It's not on my to-do list. 1 second. Send out Caitanya-bhāgavata files in WhatsApp group. There, now it's on the to-do list. Okay. Ajnanatimirandhasya jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Ajanulambita bhujo kanakavadato Sankirtanaikapitaro kamalayataksho Vishvambaro dvijavaro yugadharmapalo Vande jagat priyakaro karunavataro. Namastrikala satyaya jagannatha sutaya cha sabhrityaya saputraya sakalatraya te namaha. Avatirno sakarunyo parichinno sarishvaro Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando dvau bhrataro bhaje. Sajayati Vishuddha Vikrama Kanakabha Kamalaya Tikshana Varajanu Vilambi Sharbhujo Bahuda Bhakti Rasabhinartaka. Jayati Jayati Deva Krishna Chaitanya Chandro Jayati Jayati Kirtis Tasya Nitya Pavitra Jayati Jayati Bhrityas Tasya Vishveshamurte Jayati Jayati Nrityam Tasya Sarva Goshtir Charane Ashisha Prakare Mor Danda Paraname Tabe Vando Shri Krishna Chaitanya Maheshwar Navadvipe Avatara Nama Vishwambar. Oh, and this is going to be the last day of our singing the pranam mantra for Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra. Yeah, where is it? Yeah. Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannataya te namaha. Govardhanadaram vande Gopalam Goparupinam Gokulotsavamishanam Govindam Gopika Priyam. This is also our last day of saying this verse, which you're supposed to recite every day during Purushottam. I'll read the translation. I worship the lifter of Govardhan, Gopal, who has the form of a Gopa. He is the festival of Gokul, Gokul Utsav. He is the supreme controller of all, Ishvar, and he is Govinda, the beloved of the Gopis, Gopika Priyam. Okay. Oops, here it is. Tavaivasmi, na jivami tvaya vina. Iti vigyaya devi tvam nayamang charanantikam. Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshay. Kshiptashtakamaditaranga madhye. Kripa mai tvam sharanam prapanna. Vrinde namaste charanarvindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, now we'll sing the glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur from Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata. What part is it? It's Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Adi-lila, chapter 8, verses 33 to 42. Okay. Ore mura loko shuno Chaitanya Mangal. Chaitanya Mahima Jate Jani Vishaka. Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kohe Vedavyas. Chaitanya Lila Vyas Vrindavana Das. Vrindavana Dasa Koila Chaitanya Mangal. Jahara Shavane Nashe Sarvaya Mangal. Chaitanya Nitar Jate Janiye Mahima. Jate Jani Krishna Bhakti Siddhanter Sima. Bhagavate Jata Bhakti Siddhanter Sar. Lekhi Achen Iha Jani Koriya Udhar. Chaitanya Mangala Shune Jadi Pashandi Javan. Seho Maha Vaishnava Hoy Tatakhan. Manushe Rachite Nare Aiche Grantha Dhanya. Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Vakta Shri Caitanya. Vrindavana Dasa Pode Koti Namaskar. Aiche Grantha Korite Ho Tarila Sansar. Narayani Chaitanyer Uchishta Bhajan. Tar Garbe Janmila Shidasa Vrindavan. Tar ki Arbhuta Chaitanya Charita Varnan. Jahara Shravane Shuddha Koilo Tribhuvan. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 4-5. Sahaje Vichitra Madhur Chaitanya Vihar. Vrindavana Dasamokhe Amriter Dar. Vrindavana Dasamokhe Amriter Dar. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet, and when they're described by Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai, Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. The Gaudiya Bhashya commentary of Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so let's get to it. What am I doing? I'm closing this and then going to chapter 8.
May I try to do a recap?
Please do. I'd be very grateful, actually.
Yeah. So in the beginning of what chapter we are? What was the previous chapter? 7?
7, yeah.
Okay. So in the beginning of chapter 7, Vrindavan Das Thakur described the condition of the devotees, how they were engaged in chanting and doing and forming Krishna bhakti, then how they became upset because all the Pashandis, all the atheists, they would mock the Vaishnavas and they would make up different like songs and to mock the Vaishnavas, different poems like, what is the benefit of being a chaste wife, a sannyasi, as he or a strict bhakta? Because they all have to die. So like that. So like that, they would mock the Vaishnavas. Like, what is the use? Who's they're all gonna die anyway, okay? And they would say, like, we consider someone pious if they can ride on a palanquin being carried by 22 people. And they would say also, these mad people, they're always chanting Hari, Hari, but they don't understand that Hari becomes angry when they chant his name loudly, disturbing his sleep. And they would be like the Vaishnavas hearing all these things, they would be filled with great pain. All the Vaishnavas headed by Advaita Prabhu would feel great remorse, seeing the pitiful condition of Navadip and all the atheists saying these things. And Sri Vishwarup, it affected him a lot. And Sri Vishwarup was thinking, I cannot stand to be with these people anymore. Saying, I cannot stand to see the faces of these atheists anymore. How they're so offensive. And while he was thinking that, Jagannath Mishra Prabhu and Chachi Mata, they were thinking, Vishwarup is now of a marriageable age. Now it is the time to get Vishwarup married. And Vishwarup, hearing all these things, he thought, no, I should not remain here. I should go and take sannyas. And so Vishwarup, he left home and he went to take sannyas. That's in, I believe, the Shankara Sampradaya. And he got the name Shri Shankaranya Puri. And hearing that,
with Vishwarup Sannyas is he was going to Advaita Acharya so like all the time, right? He was like pretty much like most of his time he was at Acharya's house. And I think Advaita Acharya also like in the Leela was making him develop this detachment. Right?
Yeah. Vishwarup was like Advaita Prabhu's disciple. He was always there listening to Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya Prabhu would always give class on Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhakti and everything. And Bhagavatam class was also going on by different people in Navadip, but they were devoid of Bhakti. So what were they preaching? Dharma, not even Dharma, Artha and Kam. It was like sense gratification and economical development. There was no question of Dharma, no question of, maybe some moksha was there, but it was mostly like impersonal. And most of them were more like Jai Kalima, Jai Durga Ma. Like you mentioned, and like Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur mentions, like, what is the benefit of that worship? What is the benefit of that devotion of Durga? Because at the end of Durga Puja, they just throw Durga into the lake, or into the Ganga.
Yes.
So yeah, and Vishwarupa was hearing from Advaita Prabhu, and he would associate with the Vaishnavas. I think somewhere, anyhow, Advaita Prabhu would speak many things with Vishwarupa. And with this association with the Vaishnavas, so much so to Sangha, this led to Vishwarup ultimately taking sannyas. And as we know, Vishwarup is also non-different from Nityananda Prabhu. So Vishwarup left home and took sannyas and became Shankaranya, Shri Shankaranya Puri. And hearing this, both Shachi Mata, Jagannath Mishra Prabhu, and both Advaita Prabhu and the Vaishnavas, they wept. They wept lamenting, oh, now Vishwarup is gone. And Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur writes there that, or perhaps Vrindavan Das Thakur, that we should not think that this lamentation was ordinary. This was like material, like, oh, this son has just left his parents, like his parents are lamenting. No, Jagannath Mishra Prabhu, he was lamenting in a way that to deceive the atheists. Bhagavad Vrindavan Das and Saraswati Prabhupada write that. And then after that, and Jagannath Mishra Prabhu began thinking.
Somebody else who was very deeply affected was Nimāi, right? Like he say that because like Nimai was very wild and uncontrolled, like obnoxious, like he was just a big mischievous troublemaker in front of everybody, except for when he was in with Vishwarup. Then he became really like calm and grave and like, you know, more serious. Like
Right,
Vishwarup
right,
would,
right.
and when Vishwarup left to take sannyas, then didn't it say that Nimai was crying and he fell unconscious
Nimai
out of
cried and
separation?
fell unconscious.
I think I remember reading that, right? Did we? I
Yeah,
think
yeah, we
so.
read that. Nimai, hearing of Vishnu, he started crying and he fell unconscious. Like Nimai was thinking, now my big brother left. And must have been the Lord. And
Yeah.
you mentioned it was the Lord crying for his associates.
Yeah.
And it's even, you realize that Vishnu is Nityanand Prabhu. Again, you realize how dear Nityanand Prabhu is to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yes.
So that's very interesting separation there. Separation, Viraha Leela. And Jagannath Mishra Prabhu was thinking, you know, Vishwarup, he was always studying and he was very educated. That's why he took sannyas. So we should not do this with Nimai. With our Nimai, we should keep him home. We should meet, and he told Shachimata, Mata, immediately stop Nimai's studies. And Shachimata was thinking, what are you talking about, Prabhu? If we stop Nimai's studies, he'll become a fool, and how will he maintain himself? And moreover, no one will give their daughter to a fool. And Jagannath Mishra says, oh, foolish lady, don't you know? Lord Krishna is maintaining everyone. It is only by the mercy of Lord Krishna that we're all maintained. No one is actually doing anything. It is all done by Krishna. Like, look at me. And who told you that being educated will be helpful? I'm like, look at me. I'm educated and I'm poor.
Yes.
And then he went on to say, so Nimai, I study, like, and do you think that he won't get at a good bride? No, Krishna will provide everything. Ye tamamam prapadyante. So they stopped Nimai's studies. And Nimai, hearing this, then Nimai began to do mischief. So he would go out with his friends and he would somehow or other disguise himself as a buffalo. And then they would go into people's homes and they would show up and the householders would think, oh no, a buffalo is destroying the garden. Alas, alas.
What did they like destroy the banana trees, I think, right?
Yeah, banana trees. I'm actually curious to know how they disguise themselves as a buffalo.
Yeah, didn't it mention something like they'd get together and they put a cloth over them or something like that? Like they would maybe one on the front and one in the back and then a cloth over and yeah, something like that.
I think something like that. And then like maybe some banana leaves and they would disguise them like the horns. And then they would like go to the banana garden or the banana trees and the householder said, alas, a buffalo has come. And then Nimai and his friends would scare them so much that that the householders had to lock themselves inside the door, that even if they needed to use the bathroom.
No, I think it said that they would lock, they would go to people's doors and lock it from the outside. And
They
so
would
then when
do
the person would have, yeah, so when the person would have to go to use the bathroom, they were locked in their house and they couldn't use the bathroom. And so they'd have to like they'd have to go inside their house and there's no toilet inside the house.
that.
So, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Shiny Mai. Totally. And then after that, Nimai would do mischief. But Nimai was very upset that his studies were stopped. Like Nimai was thinking, no, I have to study. So one day outside, right, he started sitting on some pots that were some rejected pots, some impure pots. And Shachimata came out and was like, Nimai, what are you doing? These pots are dirty. Already. Can't you differentiate between dirty and clean? Between pure and impure?
So that his body was all full of, so because I think at that time
Uh-huh.
they'd cook on pots. And so you'd cook and then you'd throw out the pots. And so there's just a big pile of clay pots. And it said that his body was full of like the bottom of the pots are all black. And so his
Mm-hmm.
body that black color. He looks like a champak flower covered with chandan mixed with aguru, which is like black thing together. So
Interesting. Wasn't he also described as sapphire? I mean, Indra Nilamani?
oh yeah, what was that about? I forgot what that was. Yeah, in relation to, but yeah.
Yeah, it's also described that he also looked like a sapphire, Indra Nilamani.
Yeah.
And then the Lord took the Bhava Dattatreya Bhagavan. He started speaking like Dattatreya Bhagavan. And Dattatreya is Bhagavan is famous for giving like very philosophical lectures, very to different Mahajans and different personalities. And then Nimai, I started speaking Gyan like pure, impure. Don't you understand that wherever I am, there can not be any impurity? How can there be because how can there be any impurity when the Lord is there? And then Nimai, I said, and also these pots are the pots that we use to cook for Lord Vishnu. How can they be contaminated? And Nimai spoke many other things, and Shachimata was bewildered. And then Nimai was saying that I want to study, and the other Naudi Vasi saw this, and they complained to Jagannath Mishra, saying, Prabhu, oh Mishraji, you are very, very cultured and very well educated Brahmin and Aryan. Which enemy told you to stop Nimai's studies? Don't you see that Nimai is upset that he cannot study? And somehow,
I think. Oh yeah, no, you're right. You're totally right. Yeah. You're right.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that they said that to Sachimata, but you're right. I just looked.
Yeah.
I mean, they said it to both of them.
Yeah, both Jagannath Mishra and Shachimata. Like, and they just called Nimai, come Nimai, we will go. But Nimai, I refused. He continued staying on the pots. Some or other Nimai studies were restarted. I don't remember how though. Did it mention how Nimai studies were restarted?
Well, that's just like the last few verses right before chapter 8. So maybe we could just read from that section. We can get it exactly. It's just like the very last few.
Okay. Jai Nimai.
Jai Nimai. Thanks for that, Kishore. I wouldn't have been able to do a recap like that. So that was really great. Okay. So one second. Okay, so after all that, the Lord, in the mood of an ordinary child, smiled as he spoke on the absolute truth. Still, no one recognized him due to the influence of illusory energy. Everyone began to laugh after hearing the child speak. Then Mother Shachi said, "Come and take bath." The Lord, however, did not move from his seat. So Shachi again said, "Come quickly before your father learns about this." The Lord replied, "I tell you, if you do not allow me to study, then I will not leave this place." Everyone present then admonished the Lord's mother, saying, "Why don't you allow him to study? Some people take great efforts to get their child to study. It is most auspicious if a child wants to study on his own." Which enemy has given you the idea to keep your son at home, uneducated? This child has no fault at all. Then they said to Nimai, "Come, Nimai. If you are not allowed to return to your studies from today, then you can continue your destruction." Still, the Lord did not leave his seat. He continued sitting there smiling as the pious people there floated in an ocean of bliss. Then Mother Shachi personally pulled him off the seat, and Lord Gaurachandra smiled like a shining blue sapphire. There it is. The Lord spoke the absolute truth in the mood of Dattatreya, yet no one could recognize him due to the influence of his illusory energy. The pious Shachi then took Nimai to the Ganga, and they both took bath. At that time, the magnanimous Jagannath Mishra arrived there. Shachi explained to him what had taken place. She then said, "Our son is morose because he is not allowed to study." The others there said, "O Mishra, you are broad-minded. Who has inspired you to stop his studies? Whatever Krishna desires will certainly take place. Therefore, give up your anxiety and fearlessly allow him to study. You are fortunate that your son wants to study. You should arrange to give him a braḥmaṇ thread on an auspicious day." Śrī Mishra replied, "All of you are my well-wishers. Therefore, whatever you say, I must accept." Seeing the child's uncommon activities, everyone was struck with wonder, yet no one could understand him. Some most fortunate person had previously given Jagannath Mishra a prediction. He said, "This boy is not ordinary. Please carefully keep this child in the core of your heart." Thus, the Lord of Vaikuntha constantly enjoyed his confidential pastimes in the courtyard of his house. By the order of his father, the Supreme Lord then joyfully resumed his studies. Accepting Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, I, Vrindavan Das Thakur, sing the glories of their lotus feet. So now we start chapter 8, the disappearance of Jagannath Mishra. But we won't get to the disappearance of Jagannath Mishra in today's reading. That will be later on. This chapter describes Nimai's sacred thread ceremony. His studying, this is the Katha Sar written by Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. So we're going to read about his sacred thread ceremony, his studying at the house of Gaṅgādāsa Paṇḍit, Jagannath Mishra's dream of Vishwambara's future pastimes as a sannyasi, and the disappearance of Jagannath Mishra. Sri Gaurasundar accepted the sacred thread in a grand ceremony at an auspicious moment, on an auspicious day, in an auspicious month. Then, in order to deliver the living entities, he enacted the pastimes of Vamandev and begged alms from everyone. Sri Gaurasundar began to study with Gaṅgādāsa Paṇḍit, who is none different from Sandipani Muni, and the crest jewel among the professors of Navadvip. When Gaṅgādāsa realized that Nimāi was the most intelligent of his students, he became very pleased. Nimāi did not hesitate to challenge even Gaṅgādāsa's senior students, headed by Sri Murari Gupta, Kamalakanta, and Krishnananda. Nimāi would go to the various, and that's where we're going to end today, when he challenges Gaṅgādāsa's senior students. Nimāi would go to the various bathing ghats along the Ganga and quarrel with other students. After Nimāi explained and established the meaning of a sutra, he would refute that meaning that he established, and then re-establish his first explanation, thereby astonishing the assembled students. In order to see Nimai's scholastic pastimes, the omniscient Brihaspati appeared in Navadvip along with his disciples. The Ganga had long desired the good fortune enjoyed by the Yamuna. Ormi dor vilasa parma naba paravandini. Yamuna, who with folded hands in the form of waves, prayed to the lotus feet of the Lord. Anyways, Sri Gaurasundar, who was a desire tree, regularly fulfilled that desire of Ganga Devi. Thus, Nimāi displayed his pastimes of bathing in the Ganga, properly worshipping Vishnu, watering the tulsi plant, and honoring prasad. Thereafter, he would sit in a secluded place in his house to study and write a commentary on the sutras. Seeing these activities, Jagannath Mishra was jubilant within, and out of paternal affection, he continually prayed to Krishna so that his son would not face any obstacles. One day, Jagannath Mishra dreamt that Nimāi was dressed as a wonderful sannyasi and engaged in continual laughing, dancing, and crying while chanting the names of Krishna, surrounded by the devotees headed by Advaita Acharya. He saw Nimāi sit on Vishnu's Singhasan and place his feet on everyone's head. The demigods, led by the four-headed, five-headed, and thousand-headed lords, all chanted Jai Shachinandan, and they offered prayers from all sides. Then he saw Nimāi dancing and chanting in the streets of Navadvip, followed by millions of people. He also saw Nimāi going to Nilachal with his devotees. After seeing this dream, Jagannath Mishra was convinced that Nimāi would leave home, and he became filled with fear and anxiety. Shachi Devi, however, solaced Jagannath Mishra, saying, "The way Nimāi is engaged in studying, he will never leave home and go anywhere." Shortly thereafter, Jagannath Mishra left this world. As Sri Ramachandra cried when Dasharatha left this world, feeling separation from his devotee, Śrī Gaurasundar also profusely cried on the disappearance of Jagannath Mishra. Thereafter, Nimai solaced Mother Shachi in various ways, saying, I'll give you that which is rare for even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. One day, before going to take bath in the Ganga, Nimai asked Shachi Devi for some oil, an amalaki fruit, a flower garland, and some sandalwood to worship the Ganga. When Shachi Devi requested Nimai to wait a bit, Nimai became as angry as Rudra and began to destroy everything in the house, including the doors and windows. Being the protector of Sanatan Dharma, however, the Lord did not raise his hand against his mother. Well, he better not. After breaking everything, Nimai began to roll on the ground. Thereafter, Shachi Devi brought sandalwood and a garland for Nimai's worship of the Ganga. As Yashoda tolerated all of Krishna's mischievous activities in Gokul, Shachi Devi similarly tolerated all of Nimai's mischievous activities in Navadvip. After Nimai bathed in the Ganga, returned home, and ate, Shachi Devi said to him, What did you gain by smashing everything in the house? What will you eat tomorrow? We have no more provisions at home. In reply, Nimai told his mother, Vishvambar Krishna is the only maintainer of everyone. His devotees do not need to worry about their food. Saying this, Śrī Gaurasundar, the husband of Saraswati, went out to manifest his pastimes of study. When Nimai returned home, he gave 20 grams of gold to his mother and said, Krishna has given this resource. You can exchange it for whatever household provisions we need. Shachi Devi thought, whenever there is a shortage at home, Nimai immediately brings gold from somewhere. Shachi Devi became afraid as she thought, I don't know, perhaps some problem will arise. Why is he getting this gold? Thus, Shachi Devi first checked the gold with 5 to 10 people before exchanging it for her household necessities. Nimai remained always engaged in discussing the scriptures while taking bath, eating, and traveling. He did not disclose himself due to the fallen condition of the world. This chapter ends with a description of the world as devoid of devotional service to Lord Hari and the distress felt by the compassionate Vaishnavas on account of this pathetic condition. Chapter 8, verse 1. Just checking the comments really quick. Okay. Jaya Jaya Kripa Sindhu Shri Gaurasundar Jaya Shachi Jagannatha Griha Shashadhar. All glories to Śrī Gaurasundar, the ocean of mercy. All glories to the moon-like Lord in the house of Shachi and Jagannath. Jaya Jaya Nityananda Swaruper Pran. Jaya Jaya Sankirtan Dharmer Nidhan. All glories to the life and soul of Nityananda Swarup. All glories to the inaugurator of the congregational chanting of the holy names. Gaudiya Bhashya by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. Śrī Gaurasundar is the inaugurator of devotional service in the form of chanting the holy names. It is stated in the Śrīmad Bhagavatam 11.5.32, Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yagyai Sankirtana Prayar Yajantihi Sumedasaha. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. In his commentary on Śrīmad Bhagavatam 7.5 verses 23 to 24, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam, that verse, Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu has written about the preaching of devotional service in the form of chanting the holy names by Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, the deliverer of the people in the age of Kali Yuga, as follows. He writes, therefore, although in the age of Kali, other processes of devotional service are to be performed, they must always be accompanied by the chanting of the holy names. Oh, I've memorized that sentence before. How does it start? Oh, God, if I get the first word, I could say it. Anyhow, this is quoted very often, though. It is also mentioned in the Śrī Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi 377. Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya is the initiator of Sankirtan, of congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. One who worships him through Sankirtan is fortunate indeed. You want to see the Sanskrit part? I can get it up open in a second. It's in a quote here. My Palm Gurudev gives a really awesome explanation. What is it? Kirtanakya. There it is. Okay. So my Palm Gurudev says, let's see if I can make this bigger. Kirtan is the sole fruit of Kirtan. Kirtan alone is seva. And Kirtan is also prem. This is Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. Srila Jiva Goswami has written in his Krama Sandarbha, Yadyapyanya bhakti kalo kartavya tada kirtanakya bhakti samyogenaiva ityuktam. In Kali Yuga, the limbs of bhakti other than kirtan are also to be performed, but only in conjunction with kirtan. Okay. Verse 3. Bhakta Ghosh, there's the section after that, my Palm Gurudev explains this more, and it's really beautiful, but it's not here. Anyways, we need to continue on. Verse 3. Bhakta Goshti Sahit Gauranga Jai Jai Shunile Chaitanya Katha Bhakti Labhya Hoy. All glories to Śrī Gauranga along with his devotees and associates. By hearing the topics of Lord Chaitanya, one attains the devotional service of the Lord. Verse 4. Henamate Mahaprabhu Jagannatha Ghare Ni Ghure Achen Keho Chinite Napare. In this way, as the Supreme Lord confidentially resided in the house of Jagannath Mishra, no one was able to recognize him. Verse 5. Balya Krida Nam Jato Ache Pritivite Shakala Khelai Prabhu Ke Pare Kohite. The Lord enjoyed every variety of childhood sports found in the world. Who can describe them all? Veda dware vyakta hoibe shakala purane kichu sheshe shunibe shakala bhagyavane. These pastimes will later be described through the Vedas and all the Puranas, and fortunate souls will hear about them. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Veda refers to 1. Vishnu, 2. The Shrutis, 3. The Amnaya, 4. The Chandas, 5. The Brahmas, and 6. The Nigamas. And the word Purana refers to the 18 Puranas, the 20 Upa-Puranas, and the histories. Although the topics of Śrī Gaurasundar, the covered incarnation, are more or less explained in all the Puranas, they are not clearly described. Lord Vishnu resides in the hearts of the Vaishnavas, and topics of Lord Vishnu emanate from the mouths of the Vaishnavas. Therefore, the wonderful activities of Śrī Gaurasundar will be later described by Vaishnavacharyas in their commentaries on the Puranas. The Vedic literatures emanate from the breathing of Lord Vishnu. Śrī Vyasadeva, who divided the Vedas, has appeared in this age of Kali as Śrī Vrindavan Thakur, the author of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, which is non-different from Śrīmad Bhagavatam. Therefore, Śrī Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu has written about Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata as follows. Kaviraj Goswami writes, the subject matter of this book is so sublime that it appears that Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has personally spoke through the writings of Śrī Vrindavan Das Thakur. That's this verse that we say in before our reading every day. How does it start? 1 second. Oh, and that's not the full translation though. Look, it's this verse right here. This Manushe Rachite Nare Aiche Granta Dhanya Vrindavana das mukhe vakta Śrī Caitanya. But that translation doesn't have the manushe rachite nare. That it's not written by a human being. Such a scripture is not written by any human being, but through the mouth of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, Śrī Caitanya is the Vakta. He is the speaker. Okay. The eternality of Vedic literature is not denied by the use of the future. The eternality of the Vedic literature is not denied by the use of the future tense in the phrase Veda dvare vyakta hoibe. Hoibe means will be. So through the Veda dvare, through the Vedas, vyakta hoibe, it will be described. In different manvantars and in the beginning of different yugas, Lord Narayan reveals Vedic knowledge in the heart of his servant, Brahma, and preaches his transcendental name, form, qualities, and pastimes through Sri Vyasadeva. Verse 7. Emata Gora Chandra Palya Rase Bhola Yagyo Paviter Kal Asya Milila. Yagya Upaviter Kal Asya Milila. As Sri Gaurasundar remained fully absorbed in his childhood pastimes, the time came for his accepting a Brahman thread. Gauriya Bhashya. Some say that the word bhola is a corruption of the word vivala, which means maddened or forgetting oneself. Regarding the words Yagyo Paviter Kal, it is stated in the Vedas, Ashta Varsham Brahmanam Upanayita. When the son of a Brahman becomes 8 years old, he should be awarded the sacred thread. Wow, 8 years old, that's very young. Oh, no worries, Satya Mataji. In this statement, the word Brahman refers to those who will become Brahmins in the future. The Śrīmad Bhagavatam 11:1739. So the statement in Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Griharti Sadrisham Bharyam Udvahet. This, which means one who desires to establish family life should marry a wife of his own caste. So this statement refers to those who will accept wives in the future. And in the same way, a non-Brahmin who will become a Brahmin in the future is called a Brahman. Okay, so even though it's talking about the future, it's still okay. In the Śrīmad Bhagavatam 7:11-13, it is stated, Samskara yatra vichinna sadvijojo jagadayam. Those who have been reformed by the Garbhadhan ceremony and other prescribed reformatory methods, performed with Vedic mantras and without interruption, and who have been approved by Lord Brahma, they are dvijas, are twice born. In the Vishnu Yamala, it is stated, Ashuddha Shuddra Kalpa hi Brahmana Kali Sambhava Tesham Agama Margena Shuddhirna Shruttavartmana. The Brahmanas born in the age of Kali are merely Shudras. Their so-called Vedic path of karma is polluted and cannot purify them. They can only be purified by following the path of the Agamas, or the Pancharatrik Vidhi. From this statement, it is understood that due to the lack of purity in family lines in the age of Kali, or quarrel, one should become purified through the process of Pancharatrika initiation. Therefore, the Śrīmad Bhagavatam 7:11-35 states, Yasya ya lakshanam proktam punksa varnam vyanjakam yad anyatra drishyeta tattenaiva vinirdishet. If one shows the symptoms of being a Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, as described above, even if he has appeared in a different class, he should be accepted according to those symptoms of classification. This is an important verse. Very important verse. This is what we say to any smarta Brahmins if they have any problem with having the Brahman thread. And Sridhar Swami, in his commentary on this verse, states, Yad yadi anyatra varnantare pi drishyeta tad varnanantaram tenaiva lakshana nimittenaiva varnena vinirdishet na tu jati nimittenetyarthaha. If the proper symptoms are seen in a person other than those born as Brahmins, then such persons should be considered Brahmins. They should not be considered according to their caste by birth. The Mahabharata, Anushasan 143, 46, and 50 states, Shudro pyagama sampanno dvijo bhavati samskrita. Persons born in lower degraded castes can become qualified, well-versed Brahmanas. Wow, even Mahabharata says that. Na yonir napi samskaro na shrutam na chasantati karanani dijatvasya vrittam eva tu karanam. Therefore, neither the source of one's birth, nor his reformation, nor his education is the criterion of a Brahmana. The vritta, or occupation, is the real standard by which one is known as a Brahmana. And the Bharadwaja Samhita of the Narad Pancharatra 234, it is stated, Swayam Brahmani nikshiptan jatan eva himantrata vinitan artaputradin samskritya pratibodhayet. An acharya should purify his sons and disciples by engaging them in the service of the absolute truth after initiating them with proper mantras so that they will be purified and knowledgeable. The Hari Bhakti Vilas, part 2, quotes the Tattva Sagar as follows. Yata kanchana tang yati kangsyam rasa vidhanata tata diksha vidhanena dvijatvam jayate nripam. As bell metal, when mixed with mercury, is transformed into gold, a person, even though not golden pure, can be transformed into a Brahman or Dvija simply by the initiation process. That's from Hari Bhakti Vilas 2:12. In his commentary on this verse, Sri Sanatana Goswami has written, Nrinam sarvesham eva dvijatvam viprata. All human beings are eligible to become twice-born Brahmanas. And his Digdarshini Tika on Brihad Bhagavatamrita 2:437, he's explained the word Diksha Lakshana Dharina, accepting the signs of imitation. He's explained that as follows. Some of them, the residents of Vaikuntha, accepted the signs of initiation, and some of them accepted mantras for worshipping the Lord. They had sacred threads, water pots, asanas of kusha grass, tulsi beads, and various other signs. In his commentary on the Brahma Samhita 525, Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu has written, after being initiated in the chanting of the 18-syllable mantra, Lord Brahma became a Dvija. There is no impediment with this because Lord Brahma was born from Śrī Govindadev, who is the predominating deity of the 18-syllable mantra. We can also cite the evidence of Dhruva Maharaj, for he also became a Brahman after initiation. These innumerable other statements of the scriptures and Mahajans confirm that everyone must be initiated through the Pancharatric process and accept the sacred thread. This has been a process since time immemorial. Therefore, Sri Jayatirthapad refers to the Vrishchika Tanduli Nyai and his Tattva Prakashika commentary on the Brahma Sutras 1.3.29. So he refers to that type of logic to demonstrate that Brahminical qualities acquired by birth or by occupation are accepted. The sacred thread ceremony is meant to give one the qualification for studying the Vedas, because the Brahma Sutras state that Shudras, are those without sacred thread, are not eligible to hear Vedanta. After accepting Pancharatric mantras and being properly initiated according to the Sri Narad Pancharatra, a person must observe the 10 samskars, or purificatory rites, and thereafter hear the meanings of the mantras. That was a very in-depth explanation on how everyone is to get the Brahman, to take Diksha and become a Brahman. Verse 8. Yagya Sutra Putrer Dibare Mishravar Bandhu Varga Dakiya Anila Nijaghar. For the sacred thread ceremony of his son, Jagannath Mishra invited all of his friends and relatives to the house. Verse 9. Paramaharishe Sabhe Asiya Milila Jar Jeno Jogya Karya Korite Lagila. Everyone happily gathered there and assisted in various ways according to their ability. Stri Gane Jai Diya Krishna Guna Gai Nata Gane Mridanga Sanai Bangshi Bai. The women chanted Krishna's glories, and the musicians played mridanga, sanai, and flute. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word bai means play. 11. Vipragane Veda Pore Bhatte Raibar Shachi Grihe Hoilo Ananda Avatar. The Brahmanas recited the Vedas, and the professional blessers chanted prayers. Thus, Shachi Devi's house appeared as the incarnation of ecstasy. Wow. Sachi Grihe Hoilo Ananda Avatar. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Araivar means prayers, or songs of glorification, as well as reciter of prayers, or messenger. The phrase Hoilo Ananda Avatar means happiness personified has appeared. In other words, the marketplace of happiness has manifested. Second. Okay. Yagya Sutra Dhori Ben Shri Gora Sundar Shubha Yoga Shakal Ailo Shachi Ghar. As Shri Gaurasundar accepted the Brahman thread, all the auspicious planetary conjunctions fell on the house of Shachi. Shubha Mase Shubha Dine Shubha Khana Dhori Dhori Len Yagya Sutra Gauranga Shri Hari. The month, day, and moment were all auspicious. Shri Gaurhari accepted the Brahman thread. Shobhilo Shri Ange Yagya Sutra Manohar Shukshma Rupe Sheshabhave Dila Kolevar. The enchanting thread beautified the body of the Lord, as if Ananta Shesh surrounded his body in a subtle form. Gaudiya Bhashya. The sacred thread form of Ananta Shesh is mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi 5:123 to 124. He serves Lord Shri Krishna assuming the following forms: umbrella, slippers, bedding, pillow, garments, resting chair, residence, sacred thread, and throne. He is thus called Shesh, for he has attained the ultimate end of servitude. He is thus called Lord Shesh, for he has attained the ultimate end of servitude to Krishna. He takes many forms for the service of Krishna, and thus he serves the Lord. Sutra, though. So he becomes a sutra, the Lord's sacred thread. Ananta Shesh. Hoila Vamana Rupa Prabhu Gaura Chandra Dekhite Sabar Bare Parama Ananda. Everyone was most pleased to see how Lord Gaurachandra resembled Vamandev. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Vamana Rup refers to the dwarf incarnation of Lord Vishnu. One may refer to the 8th canto of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, chapters 18 to 23. Śrī Vamandev, or Śrī Upendra, was born from Kashyapa in the womb of Aditi. When Śrī Upendra, in the form of a dwarf, heard that Bali, the king of the demons, was performing an Ashwamedha sacrifice, he went to the sacrifice with a desire to accept 3 paces of land in charity. The material world, consisting of the 3 modes of nature, is only 1/4 of Lord Vishnu's incarnation. Sorry, I'm starting to get tired now. I need to stand up. The material world, consisting of the 3 modes of nature, is only 1/4 of Lord Vishnu's creation. The evidently pure spiritual world covers 3/4 of this creation. The word Kaya refers to the gross material world, and the word Mana refers to the subtle material world. The word Vak refers to the spiritual Vaikunthas. Therefore, Śrī Vamandev begged for 3 steps of lands that are beyond the realm of gross and subtle material worlds, are beyond the reach of material sense perception. The gross world is known as Bhurloka. The subtle world is known as Bhuvarloka, and the Vaikuntha world beyond the 3 modes of material nature is known as Svargaloka. One should surrender and offer everything in worship at the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. In the material world, there is no conception of Vishnu. Vasudeva is situated only in a state of pure goodness. Lord Vamandev accepts only the gifts or foodstuffs that are offered by his devotee. This is a teaching of the Vaman incarnation. Therefore, a person who desires purification is instructed to chant the Rig Veda mantra, Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Param Sada Pashyanti Suraya Deviva Chakshur Atatam. Materialistic worshippers of the sun god compare Lord Vishnu to the sun, which rises and sets. This is the materialistic conception of what is called Trisandhya. Although Lord Vishnu is the lord of the 14 planetary systems, he sometimes comes as Vamandev, and sometimes he displays a form measuring 3.5 cubits. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Gaur Krishna, exhibited the pastimes of Trivikram by begging alms in the form of a dwarf Brahmin. Trivikram means who conquers the 3 worlds, Vamandev. Six 16. Apurva brahmanyateja dekhi sarva gane nara jnana ar keho nahi kore mane. On seeing his wonderful Brahman effulgence, no one considered him an ordinary child. Gaudiya Bhashya. For an elaboration on the word brahmanyateja, one should refer to the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 8:18-18. And for an explanation of the second line, one should refer to Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 8:18-22. Hate danda kande jhuli, Śrī Gaura Sundar, Bhikha kore Prabhu sarva sevaker ghar. Then, with a stick in his hands and a bag on his shoulder, Śrī Gaurasundar went to beg alms at the houses of his devotees. Gaudiya Bhashya. At the time of the sacred thread ceremony, the brahmachari should recite the Gayatri mantra before the acharya, and he should accept a sacred thread, a belt made of straw, copins, deer skin garments, a danda, a water pot, a ring of kusha grass, an umbrella, prayer beads, and a container, a bag for begging alms. Being decorated in this way, he should beg alms from his mothers. Oh yeah, I remember when I got Diksha, I first had to go to my mother's to beg. The sacred thread ceremony of Śrī Gaurasundar was properly performed, just like the ceremony of Śrī Vamandev, as described in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 8:18, verses 14-17. What is it? When you get Diksha, you go to all ladies, you say, Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi, and then to all gents, you go to them and you say, Bhavam Bhiksham Dehi. I remember learning that when I got Diksha. Yeah. And some of my friends got diksha. We all had a competition who could collect the most donations. Okay. I mean, who could collect the most diksha? I don't think that's the way you're supposed to do it. But okay. Jar jatha shakti bikha sabe santoshe prabhur jhulite diya nari gana hase. Everyone gave in satisfaction according to their ability. All the women smiled as they put their alms in the Lord's bag. 19. Dvija patni rupa dhori brahmani rudrani jata pati vrata muni varger grihini. The chaste wives of Brahma, Shiva, and various great sages all took the form of Brahmana's wives. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Brahmani refers to the goddess Saraswati. The word Rudrani refers to the goddess Parvati. The word Muni Grihini refers to the sages' wives like Aditi, Anasuya, Arundhati, and Devahuti. Shri Vamana Rupa Prabhur Dekiya Santoshe Sabhe Julite Bhikha Diya Diya Hase. They felt great satisfaction seeing Vishwambar's Vaman form and smiled as they placed alms in the Lord's bag. Prabhu koren Shri Vaman Rupa Lila Jiver Udhar Lagi E Shakal Khela. The Lord also enjoyed his Vaman pastimes, which were enacted for the deliverance of the conditioned souls. Jai Jai Shri Vamana Rupa Gora Chandra Dana Deha Hridaye Tomar Pada Dvandva. All glories to Shri Gaurachandra, who accepted the form of Lord Vaman. Please donate your lotus feet in charity to my heart. Beautiful. Gaudiya Bhashya. The second line of this verse means, O Gaurasundar, I pray that you manifest the lotus feet of your Vaman form in my heart. In this regard, one may refer to the complete surrender of Bali Maharaj, recorded in the Śrīmad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, chapter 22. Jai Shune Prabhur Yagya Jai Shune Prabhur Yagya Sutrer Grahan Shri Pai Chaitanya Chandra Charane Sharan. Whoever hears the topics of the Lord accepting a Brahman thread certainly attains the shelter of Śrī Caitanya's lotus feet. Verse 24. He no mate Vaikunta Nayaka Shachi Gare Veder Niguda Nana Mata Krida Kore. In this way, the Lord of Vaikunta enjoyed in the house of Shachi various pastimes that are unknown to the Vedas. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Nayaka refers to the Lord, and the word Niguda means secret or confidential. Shri Gaur Narayan is the Lord of Vaikunta, so he is a genius in all the scriptures and the source of the opulence of knowledge. Nevertheless, acting like an ordinary person, he rejected the foolish considerations of the material scholars and glorified the expert considerations of the learned devotees by manifesting a desire to study grammar, just as Krishna studied under Sandipani Muni. Ghare sarva shastrer bhujiya samihita goshti majhe prabhur podite hoilo chitta. After properly understanding the meanings of the scriptures at home, the Lord desired to study in the company of his associates. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word samihita means proper endeavor, the desire, the comments, confidential meaning, or purport. The word chitta is a gentle form of the word chitta, which means heart or mind. 26. Navadvipe ache adhyapaka shiromani Gaṅgādāsa Paṇḍita jeheno sandipani. In Navadip, there resided the topmost teacher, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Paṇḍit, who is non-different from Sandipani Muni. Uh-oh. The computer is going to freeze for a minute. Hope you guys don't mind, because I need to fix this. Yeah, let me just get it at the right spot so that we can, okay. For a description of Gaṅgādāsa Paṇḍit, one should refer to Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, Ādi-khaṇḍa 299. A description of Sandipani Muni is found in Śrīmad Bhagavatam 10:45, verses 31 to 48, and in the Vishnu Purana 5:21, verses 19 to 30. Sandipani Muni was a resident of Avanti and belongs to the dynasty of Kashyapa Muni. In 64 days, Sri Balaram and Sri Krishna learned from him the Upanishads, the Vedas, the Dhanurved, the military science, and the Dharma Shastras, the religious scriptures. They also learned Mimamsa, Tarka Vidya, that's logic. Okay, now we just need to wait for this to finish loading. Sorry, guys. What time is it? What time is it? Is it 8:30 already? No, it's 8:23. Yeah, it's 8:23. Okay. 1 second. Oh, come on. Hurry up. So in 64 days, Sri Balaram and Sri Krishna learned from him the Upanishads, the Vedas, the Dhanurved, military science, the Dharma Shastras, religious scriptures, Mimamsa, Tarka Vidya, logic or argument, the 6 types of politics, and the 64 arts and sciences. After mastering all the arts and sciences, they requested Sandipani Muni to accept some Guru Dakshina. After consulting his wife, Sandipani Muni expressed his desire for the return of his son, who had drowned in the ocean at Prabhas Kshetra. Balaram and Krishna immediately went to the shore of the ocean after they heard from the mouth of the ocean. So they went to the ocean. After they heard from the mouth of the ocean deity that their guru's son had been kidnapped by a demon in the shape of a conch shell named Panchajana, Lord Krishna killed the demon and accepted the Panchajanya conch made from the demon's bones. But not finding their guru's son there, Krishna and Balaram went to Yamaraja's kingdom, named Samyamani, and blew the conch shell. When Yamaraj heard the sound of the conch, he came out, and after properly worshipping Krishna and Balaram, he returned their guru's son. Sri Balaram and Sri Krishna accepted their guru's son and also returned him to his father. Okay, so in Navadip there resided the topmost teacher, Gaṅgādāsa Paṇḍit, who is none different from Sandipani Muni, and Vyakaran Shastrer Ekanta Tattvavit Tar Thai Porite Prabhur Samihito. He was in full knowledge. This Gaṅgādāsa Paṇḍit was in full knowledge of the grammatical literatures. So the Lord desired to study under him. Bujhilen putrer ingita mishravar, putra shange gela Gaṅgādāsa dvijaghar. Understanding the desire of his son, Jagannath Mishra took him to the house of the Brahman Gaṅgādāsa. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word ingita means confidential desire, hint, or gesture. 29. Mishra deki Gaṅgādāsa sambrame utila. Alingana kori eka asane bosila. When they arrived, Gaṅgādāsa stood up out of respect and embraced Sri Mishra. They then sat together on an asan. Mishra bole putra ame dilu tomasthane, poraiba shunaiba shakala apane. Jagannath Mishra said, I am offering you my son. Please teach him everything. Gaṅgādāsa bole boro bhagya she amar, poraimo joto shakti achaye amar. Gaṅgādāsa replied, "It is my great fortune. I will teach him to the best of my ability." Shishya dekhi parama anande Gaṅgādāsa, putra pray koriya rakhila nejapash. Gaṅgādāsa was most happy to see his new student, and he treated him like his own son. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word pray means equal, and the word pash comes from the word pasha, which means near. So Gaṅgādāsa was most happy to see his new student, and he treated him like his own son. Jato Vyakhya Gaṅgādāsa Paṇḍita Koren Sakrit Shunile Matra Thakur Dhoren. After hearing only once, the Lord would assimilate whatever Gaṅgādāsa Paṇḍit explained. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word sakrit means once, and the word dhoren means to realize or master something by deliberation. It means literally to hold, but then to, yeah. 34. Gurur jatek vyakhya koren khandan, punarbar she vyakhya koren sthapan. He would refute the explanations of his guru and then establish the explanation that he had just refuted. Sahasra sahasra shishya pore jata jan, heno karo shakti nahi divare dushan. There were thousands of students, but no one had the ability to defeat his explanations. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word divare dushan mean to find fault or refute. 36. Dekhiya arbuta buddhi guru harashita, sarva shishya shreshta korila pujita. Gaṅgādāsa was pleased to see Nimāi's wonderful intelligence, and he accepted him as his best student. Well, first, I think we're probably done, right? Let me just check. Reading up to 36. What did we read up to? Okay. So Gaṅgādāsa was pleased to see Nimāi's wonderful intelligence, and he accepted him as his best student. So tomorrow, we'll read, the Lord would challenge regularly and defeat all of Gaṅgādāsa Paṇḍit's older students. We'll read about that tomorrow. How Mahaprabhu would challenge the other students, the senior students, and what else? Will we read about Jagannath Mishra's dream? I have to check what we're reading tomorrow. But all right, that's all for now. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai, Jai Shri Guru Dev Ki Jai, Shri Param Guru Dev Ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupa Nukoriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Saparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigan Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrindadevi Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Ki Jai, Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai, Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai, Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata ko. Shri Purushottam Vrat ki jai, Vrat
Jai
Palan
Ho.
Karta ki jai,
Jai Ho.
Purushottam Samapti Vas ki
Jai
jai.
Ho.
Shri Hari Krishna, sorry, what was I saying? Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakraju ki jai.
Jai
Shri
Ho.
Hari Nam Than ki jai, Ananta Koti
Jai Ho.
Vaishnava Vrinda Samagata Gaur
Jai
Bhakta
Ho.
Vrinda. Shri Gaṅgādāsa Paṇḍit ki jai, all of
Jai Ho.
Mahaprabhu's friends ki jai, Shri Jagannath
Jai.
Mishra Devi ki jai,
Jai.
Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai, Nimāi
Jai.
Pandit ki jai,
Jai.
Jai Gaur Premanande Hari
Hari
Hari,
Hari Bo.
Vrindai Tulsi Devai, Priyai Keshavascha, Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi, Satyavataya Namo Namaha, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhu Bhyaivacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Hari Prabhu, Dandavat pranams, Satya Mataji, Kishore Krishna, Champak Didi, Yashoda Didi. And let's see here on YouTube and Facebook. There's Krishna Chandra Prabhu, Raseshwari Mataji, Rup Manjari Didi, Nitai, Ganga Mataji, Indira Mataji, I think I already said Indira Mataji, Vidya Lalasa Didi, and everybody else. Dandavat pranams. See you all tomorrow. So, Kishore, do you have anything you wanted to discuss, or shall we end? Okay,
Yes, but before that, can I say one thing?
Totally.
Leela Purushottam Swayam Bhagavan Brajendra Nandan Shama Sundar Radhikaraman Shri Krishna Chandra ki jai.
Jai.
Maryada Purushottam Bhagavan Jasharat Nandan Shukha Sundar Janagi Vallabha Shri Ramachandra ki jai.
Jai.
Prema Purushottam Swayam Bhagavan Jagannath Mishra Nandan Gaura Sundar Garadhar Prananath Shri Vishambara Mishra Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Nilachal Purushottam Bhagavan Shri Jagannath Dev ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Purushottam Shri Krishna.
Jai.
Had to get that out of my system.
Yes, that's beautiful. Jai. I hope you all had a wonderful Purushottam Vrat today on this last day that we can complete it in a very auspicious, nice way. So, Kishore, what's up?
Well, I was just thinking about everything Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur said in his commentary about the Brahmin about the Brahmins and the Brahmin thread. Before I mentioned that, in the Chaitanya Mangal, it's written that after Nimāi got his thread and got his Brahmin thread, that all the Brahmins, after when they were taking prasad, they were saying that, this Nimāi, he is not an ordinary boy. Actually, he is the Yuga avatar. Actually, he is Lord Krishna himself, and he has come to establish Harinam Sankirtan. And we will see this in the future.
Huh. But I guess nobody heard that. Kind of just like went in one ear and out the other. Just kind of like, okay, whatever. And then it kind of moved on, huh?
Yeah, probably. It was mostly amongst the Brahmins that they were talking about it.
Okay.
So yeah. I remember like everything.
And we
that
see in Srimad Bhagavatam every now and then, the Vrajvasis, they would get some like understanding of Krishna's Aishwarya or whatever, right? That he's Vishnu or something like that, but then very quickly it would go away. And didn't Gurudev give an example that it's like if you have a piece of straw in a pot of milk and it's boiling, the piece of straw will come to the surface just for a second and then go back under. And so every now and then in the Vrindavan pastimes, sometimes there'd be some kind of like indication of opulence, but it would quickly disappear again.
I've never heard that explanation before of the straw and the milk.
Yeah, I heard it one time. I have to look that up. I think it's probably, yeah. I think I remember hearing it from Gurudev.
Yeah. We can say that in the case of Yashoda Maya and Gopal Krishna, how he was eating dirt, and then Mother said like, Lala, what do you have in your mouth? Things like, are you eating dirt? No, Maya, I'm not eating dirt. so why are they saying that you're eating dirt? Dirt. The other boys, the boys got in a fight with me, and now they don't want me to play. So now they're saying that I have dirt in my mouth. So why is Baladev saying that you also have dirt in your mouth? Baladev is conspiring against me. And Krishna opened his mouth, and Mother Yashoda saw the whole universe, saw the planets, all the different trees, Vrindavan, herself looking into Krishna's mouth. And she thought, oh my God, my son is possessed by a ghost.
Yes. Quite different from Arjuna's experience when he saw the same exact thing, right?
What did Arjuna saw this like, oh Maheshwareshwar, and so many stops and stutis he began to recite.
Yes,
Right
and I've
over.
made offense to you by considering you my friend when you're
Mhm.
actually the absolute truth. Like, yeah.
Doesn't Arjuna ask Krishna then, and please make me forget about how it's the universal form?
Yeah, he says, I don't want to see this terrible
Uh,
form. It's like way too much. Yeah,
uh,
please again. Yeah, yeah.
I think like personally, I would actually like to see that form, but Prabhupada wrote out in his commentary, devotees are not interested in seeing Krishna's universal form. They're interested in seeing the Sham Sundar form of Shri Krishna.
Yeah, and Kishore, you're saying that now, but if you actually saw the form, it's freaky as hell. Sorry, I know, but like it would probably terrify you, like all these different forms of blowing out fire, and like it's probably like the most scary thing ever. Like, anyways, yeah, it's very intense, I think. I mean, that's just what I got from like reading Bhagavad Gita, that it's like really intense. Yeah.
Well, maybe why not? Like, now I'm thinking about it. Maybe not. At least one time. At least one time. What could be the harm?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So anyway, Prabhupada, I was just reminded how Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur was always, pushing the fact that Brahmin is by qualification, and it reminded me of, Vashishta Muni, or no, Vishwamrita Muni. Vishwamrita Muni. He was previously a Kshatriya, but then he performed austerities to become a Brahmin. So he went from a Kshatriya to a Brahmin.
Hmm. Interesting. Very
Remember,
interesting.
I remember Gurudev was being asked about uh, Brahmins by birth and by qualification, and Gurudev told this story of there was this one boy, right, and he went up to a guru and he's told the
Oh,
guru.
Javala and
Mhm.
Satyakam?
Huh?
Is it Javala and Satyakam?
I don't remember their names.
Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj writes a beautiful article. It's a very beautiful, like in depth. We published it in Raise of the Harmonist, and we'll keep on telling the story. I think it's this story.
I just remember the boy asking the guru that I want to study under you. I want to learn from you. And the guru asked him, "What is your caste?" It's like, I don't know. And the guru told him, "Go and ask your mother, like who's your father?" And he went and asked his mother, and his mother said, "Had previously in my youth I was a prostitute, so I don't know whose son you are." Or so the boy came back and told his
And she
guru.
said, the only thing is my name, I am Javala, and you're my son. So you're Satyakam, no, the son of Javala, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the boy went back and told him that my mother was a prostitute, so I don't know who my father is. And the guru told him, "Oh, you are a Brahmin. You have spoken the truth, so you are a Brahmin."
Yes, without any hesitation, completely honest,
Mm-hmm.
clean, pure. Yes.
And also, Gurudev also mentioned that there is these two ages that were born from like that were like born from two pots of semen, something like that, and that they also became Brahmins.
Interesting.
I don't recall all the details. Gurudev just said they were born from like two reject pots of semen, something like that.
Interesting. Incubated or something. um, I'll send you that article, the Javala and Satyakam by Srila Vaman Goswami. It's really nice, actually. That whole, it gets really in depth in it, and there's a whole beautiful explanation, and yeah, it's really nice.
Sure. Oh, and one more thing. Can you talk about how you took Diksha from Gurudev? That story?
There isn't much of a story with that. I think it was 2002 or 2001. I got Gopal Mantra first,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got Diksha in Kartik 2002 on Kadashi Day in on Gaurkishoras Babaji Maharaj's disappearance day.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't actually have that much to say about it. That's about it. Yeah.
I know.
No special story or anything like that. Yeah.
I know, but just like the basic
But yeah,
details.
that was interesting though. Gurudev, I don't see anybody doing this anymore. But Gurudev would generally give. Okay, Satya Mataji, I'll post that article in WhatsApp. Yeah, I'll do that. But yeah, Gurudev would generally, well, very often he would give Gopal mantra first, right? And then devotees would first practice with just Gopal mantra, and then after a while of doing that, then he would give Diksha. And I've never seen anybody else do that other than Gurudev.
Mm.
But
My brother took Gopal Mantra first and then later Diksha.
yeah, no, that was very common.
Mm-hmm.
Gurudev did that a lot.
Mm.
But yeah.
Interesting. So, how was it? So, where did it take place?
Here in Gopinath Bhavan,
In Gopinath Bhavan. And so
2000.
what? So what? You guys all went into a room and then Gurudev spoke the Gayatri mantras, and you guys all repeated it.
We didn't repeat it. No. And then he showed us how to do this on your hands, how to count on your fingers like that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. I mean, the thing is, I mean, I do remember some things that Gurudev spoke, but I wish I would have written it down as soon as he spoke it. Yeah, because he explained each one of the mantras in a very beautiful way. Um, and I have like some kind of idea of what he said about Gaur mantra. The Gaur mantra is Gaur Gayatri was very interesting, the explanation. It wasn't, and Gopal mantra especially, that his explanation for Gopal mantra is just so amazing, so beautiful. And man, I should try to, anyways, I don't, um, but like very descriptive. But of course, I can't repeat what he said. But I don't remember so clearly everything that he said. Um, yeah, yeah.
I think like the only thing like I've heard from like Gurudev regarding the Diksha mantras like or from like audio tapes saying that it's necessary, that taking Diksha is very necessary, and saying things that the mantra Devata will reveal to you, the meaning of the mantra.
Yes. Actually, Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj, he ordered his disciples to publish a book. It's called, I think it's called Gayatri Mantrartha Dipika or something like that. But it's a little book, small book like that big, and it goes very deep into each one of the mantras. And I forgot where it comes from. I'm not sure if it's Gopal Guru Goswami or what, but Srivas wanted to translate it. I remember he was actually, I think Srivas did start translating it, but I'm not sure if he ever finished. But that would be a really nice book to have. We were thinking of translating it and publishing it on his centennial, but then we ended up just focusing on the letter book.
Right.
But yeah, that is it is. I do think it is nice to know the meaning of all the words, just so that when you're meditating on them, that you actually. And I don't do that. I'm actually really lax with when I do my. Yeah. Anyhow.
I mean the general meaning for okay, maybe I just never
I'm just
mind.
saying the general meaning, but yes, ultimately, it's the mantra will reveal itself. Like even if you don't get any explanation, but you hear the mantra from Sri Guru, that's all you need, and then you know you pray for the mantra to reveal itself. I mean, that's what the last word means, right? Reveal yourself. the last word in the
I was going to say the translation to all the mantras right now, but then I decided, yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah, no need. People can hear that from their guru when they get
Yeah,
it. Yes.
yeah.
But I remember before I got Diksha, I used to always be like, I used to always think like, what's going on when everybody's doing their Anik? It was such a big mystery to me, and it was like, it was one of the most exciting things.
Yeah. I remember like before taking Diksha, like I made sure that I would not find anything out about Diksha. Like I'd make sure that I never heard them, like never find out about the mantras because I heard that it was completely off limits. So personally, I never tried to find out what the mantras were. Never tried to look into them.
But that's good. No, you should only hear it from Shri Guru. That's true. You know, a funny thing. Well, I'm not even sure. I'm not sure if I should say this publicly online. I'll just do it anyways. You know Damodar from Australia. Dom, of course, our school name.
Mm, I wasn't
Um,
there. You have to keep in mind I was too young. I wasn't there.
you were there when Dom was in school, wasn't you? Weren't you?
No,
Anyways.
I never went to Gurukul. I wasn't in the Gurukul.
Oh,
My
you were.
brothers were.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I'm
Okay.
pretty
Yeah.
sure I'm pretty sure I've heard of Dom.
Yeah. Okay. So Dom used to travel around with Tirthamarsh, and he was there's Tirthamarsh was in the room with two other people or something, and Dom was just cleaning the room on the side, and Tirthamarsh was giving the sannyas mantra. Dom didn't know what was going on, and I don't think they noticed Dom in there or whatever, but he was just cleaning, and I guess the sannyas mantra is really short. And then Dom was like, oh my god, I just got sannyas. and then he said to Premananda, he's like, what's this? And he said the sannyas mantra out to Premananda, and Premananda was like, what are you doing? But, yeah, that was kind of funny.
Wait, was Tirthamaraj giving sannyas to someone, or
No,
what was
Tirthamarsh
going
was
on?
giving sannyas to somebody, and Dom was in the room, and he overheard it, and he heard the mantra. Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah,
Does he still know the mantra?
yeah. It was like really short, and he said it to Premananda, and Premananda was like, "What are you doing? Just quiet." Yeah, yeah. It was kind of wild.
I think I found the sannyas mantra somewhere, and I told one sannyasi about it, and he's like, no, that's not the sannyas mantra. So what is it? I'm not telling you.
Yeah, it's something like a gopi mantra or something, and it's really short. But
Mhm.
I don't know anything about it. Yeah, that's what Dom told me. So,
Interesting.
all right, it is 8:50 now, so I'm going to wrap this up. Was there any other thing that you wanted to say, Kishore, or anybody else?
Not really. We'll talk tomorrow.
All right, see you tomorrow. Today we're finally, and like you remember, I've been doing this whole long thing with the books with Vaijanti Mala Mataji, and today's one of the last days. Now we're finally going to bring all the books into the place that we've been preparing, and yeah, so very close to the end. I think today and one more day, and then we'll be done. So that was my purpose of coming here to Vrindavan, and then I'll be free to go back to Navadvip. So, all right, Dandavat pranams, everybody. Hari Bol.
Jai Radhe.